I notify that the 26th Extraordinary Council meeting of the City of Johannesburg Municipality will be convened on Wednesday, 22nd May 2024 at the Constance, Conny, Bapela Council Chamber, Braamfontein at 1400 hours. The first item, opening.
Councillors, can we be seated? The chaos is outside, not inside. Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, Councillor Kabelo Kwamanda, Whip of Council, Councillor Goodlove Zungu, all political party leaders and whips, members of the Mayoral Committee, chairpersons of the Section 79 committees, fellow councillors, City Manager, Mr. Floyd Brink, Acting Secretary to Council, Mr. Andile Kobinga, officials of the City of Johannesburg, residents of Johannesburg, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the 26th Extraordinary Council meeting of the City of Johannesburg Municipality to reconsider the budget reports after Council failed to approve them last week. Councillors, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to ask the Chief Whip to get all whips together so that we can get councillors in from outside, and then I'm asking legal then to check the quorum. There's chaos outside, which is caused by two sets of people, so we are going to ask that we just check that everybody comes in and check, and then we're going to ask legal for the quorum. Councillor?
Speaker, thank you very much. This council needs to be respected. This council. Yeah. We are taking decisions here. We cannot have Mashaba coming here and address people and stop councillors to coming here.
Thank you, Councillor.
And that if you want a Mashaba, want Anak, we will give him. You are ready for that.
Councillor.
So, you know, it must be clear, Speaker. You didn't waste to come here. Respected. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor. We are going to attend what's going on the outside. Chief Whip, can you convene all the whips? I know that the DA has only got 4 representatives here today. The rest of them, can we get people to whips to get their councillors in? I thank you. We will come back after 30 minutes. Thank you. Councillors, we've had 30 minutes to get ourselves organized and get our caucuses in. Can we start sitting down? Councillor De Lange, Councillor Van Wyk, the councillors at the back from the EFF, Action SA, can we be seated so that we can continue with our meeting? MMCs, can we be seated? There are still councillors roaming outside, and we've asked WIPs to bring councillors in, but we are still roaming. No, councillor, no. But you're right, there is one AIC that's roaming. I don't see his face. You are right, I'll deal with him. MMC Mnisi and Councillor Marema, can we be seated? We had 30 minutes to do what we had to do. He's not so important. No one heard what I said. Legal, can we have the numbers? Okay, they're also roaming, they're coming with the numbers. Councillor Mpolobosho, can you get your councillors that are all next to you? Our Councillor Mshongo, Councillor Nkonko, and others. Thank you, councillors. The councillors that have signed is 154. I believe there are still councillors at the table signing, so we do correct. Chief Whip? No, we're just asking you to sit. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Lebatlang. Can we switch off our phones? There's a phone ringing.
Can I speak, Speaker?
I've given you the opportunity, Councillor Lebatlang.
Okay, thank you very much, Speaker, and to all the councillors. Speaker, we would want to plead with you before we start this important meeting. There's hundreds and hundreds of workers that are outside the precinct of council. And the workers outside, can you protect me, Speaker? I want to address you and finish.
Can you have your seat?
I want to address, can you protect me?
Councillor Lebatlang.
Yes.
There's a point of order on you. Can you have your seat?
Speaker.
Councillors.
Speaker,
Councillor, I haven't acknowledged you. I haven't acknowledged you. Councillor Lebatlang, there was a point of order on you. So thus I am asking you to be seated. So can I have the person that has the point of order on you so that we are able to carry on? Okay? Councillor?
We are not here to serve Mashaba's interest here. This is the Council of Johannesburg Metropolitan. It is very incorrect. They were trying to come here and grandstand. We're not going to have that. Even employed by City of Johannesburg.
Thank you, Councillor. Your point has come across. Councillor Lebatlang?
Thank you very much, Speaker, for the opportunity. Speaker, we want to to plea with you so that we can have a meeting on this very important item of
There's
voting
another
for the
point of
budget.
order on you.
What is the point of order now? I haven't said anything.
Councillor,
I haven't said anything.
Councillor,
Yeah.
Councillor,
What point of
Councillor
order?
Lebatlang, can you not engage councillors? Can you not engage them? They have a point of order. Let's give them the opportunity. Councillor Johannes, I forgot the surname. Mosetla. Can you switch off your mic, Councillor Lebatlang?
Thank you, Speaker. And thanks for the opportunity. The people that are outside have been addressed and they are fine. So we don't have a problem with the people downstairs. They've been addressed and they are fine. We are going to meet them after the meeting. They are fine. We must continue the business of the
Thank you,
day.
Councillor. Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Lebatlang, I have got direction that they have been addressed and that they are waiting for after the meeting. They have been addressed by the mayor. Councillors, can we not do that? We can all sing together. Can I put in a hymn, then we all sing together? The mayor wants to respond to what you have said, so the mayor will respond. No, councillors, the mayor is going to respond. We heard that there are people outside that wants to be addressed. The mayor will respond. Thank you, Councillor Lebatlang. Executive Mayor. Can you be seated? The mayor is going to speak. Can you be seated?
No, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Let me take the opportunity to acknowledge you, the Chief Whip of Council, members of the Mayoral Committee, the Head of Administration, party leaders, and fellow councillors that are present, to the residents in the city of Johannesburg, and members of the media. Madam Speaker, I thought I would ask for a point of clarity before, but I don't think I would need one at this point. We need to separate the two groupings that are outside. And the reason why I'm saying that, Madam Speaker, is because we have witnessed, and I would like to lodge a formal complaint against the Action SA.
Can you listen? Can you listen? Because if you make a noise, you will not know what it is. Can we please listen?
Chairperson, the city of Johannesburg over the past couple of weeks is a demonstration of what it would mean to be led by the Action SA. I have never, in any of my addresses,
Executive Mayor, can you have your seat? Councillor Coverdale.
Thank you, Speaker. The mayor must just tell us if he addressed the people outside or not. That's all we want to know.
No, the mayor is addressing something. Thank you, Executive Mayor. Action SA, please. And on this side as well, can we listen to the mayor? I'm not sure why the anarchy, but can we listen to the mayor?
Madam Speaker, it is incorrect that councillors in this house would mobilize to get the city in a state in which it's in. We have witnessed, Madam Speaker, councillors in their party regalia addressing the media, obstructing the interventions that the city was trying to put in place at various depots. Madam Speaker, I haven't yet addressed who is outside. But if Action SA wants me to address their members, they must call their programs and invite me officially. Madam Speaker, we understand the sensitivity of the season, and we understand the significance of today. And we understand that in the absence of mentioning the city of Johannesburg, some political parties have no expression. Madam Speaker, like I wanted to say, that I would like to lay a formal complaint. There's a trail from my office by the Action SA members that are outside,
Executive Mayor.
as led by their so-called provincial leader, throwing over bins on their way here.
Executive Mayor. Councillors, I want to know who the person is that screamed, "You are a puppet mayor." It was on my left-hand side, and clearly it was not the DA, it was not from Freedom Front Plus or the IFP or UIM. Can we stop that? The councillor right at the back, that's at the window, I can't see his name. His hand was up first. His hand was up first. He first had a point of order. Can you come?
Madam Speaker, the mayor is out of order. He cannot say that it's Action SA members that are outside. It's not Action SA members. We've got members of...
Before you speak, Executive Mayor, councillors, can you please allow the mayor to finish? Can we allow the mayor to finish? I'm not going to take any hand. Action SA has put across what they wanted to say. I am going to allow the mayor to speak. I'm not taking hands. I am not taking hands.
We need
I'm
water,
allowing
Speaker.
the mayor to speak.
We need water.
You'll get water
Thank you.
when we are done.
No, Speaker, we need water now.
Can you switch off your mics, please?
No, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the issue of casual workers and the issue of pick it up is a serious issue. And to demonstrate the fact that the office of the mayor is treating it as such, we sat in the meeting yesterday with representatives from all the depots, and we've begun engagements on their grievances. So if we have had the engagements with the members from all the depots, Madam Speaker, I think Action SA must tell us who's outside.
You will do that when the mayor is done.
We cannot
You will
allow,
do that
Madam
when the mayor
Speaker,
is done. He's still speaking.
we cannot allow, Madam Speaker, as politicians to be painted with the same brush of those who seek to use our people's discomfort, our people's challenges, our people's hardship to promote themselves. Madam Speaker, I want to register in the House, firstly, that I'm lodging a formal complaint against Action SA for the condition in which the city is in. And the second part is that, Madam Speaker, I will furnish you with the minutes of our meeting, those that attended the meeting as well as the resolutions there. So I will not agree to go and address a Action SA membership. Thank you.
Councillor, is it Margaret or Nabushe?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So what the executive mayor is saying is, in a nutshell, he will not address pick-it-up workers. He will not address the workers, the
Can you
cleaners,
ever
and
see,
the
Councillor,
security
there's a
guards
point
that
of
are
order
outside
against you?
waiting to get an up about insourcing.
Councillor, there's a point of order against
That's what
you.
the executive mayor said.
There's a point of order against you. Can you be seated, ma'am? Councillor, can you be seated? I will open up your mic. There's a point of order. Councillor Rapadu.
Speaker, I think all of us, I'm rising on Rule 72, Speaker. Speaker, I think all of us are here to make sure that this council functions. And if people want to raise their points of view, this council guarantees free speech. Let them, when they raise up, which rule are they standing on? Because we can't have frivolous hands standing up here. We have things to do, elections around the corner, we have to work. So we took our time to come here and make sure that the city gets back to work. So people must just, please, Speaker, I'm imploring you, can you run this house? Anybody who stands up must quote the rule, because they can't just stand up and just say whatever that they want. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Rapadu, for that. I think it's very important that we deal with rules and not just wake up and stand up and say anything. Councillor, thank you for that. We are all here to learn, and we are all being taught every day. Councillor Nobushe, on what rule are you rising? And make it short, because we have not even started. Before you carry on, the mayor has said that he's not going to address those people, and we take it so let us not get into it further. I'm not lecturing her, I'm telling her, and she's quite fine with it.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much. As Action SA, we would like to get that recording where the executive mayor is telling the workers of the city of Johannesburg that Action SA people...
You did not give us a rule.
You will not address...
You did not give us a rule, thank you. We are done with this item. The mayor has spoken. We are done. We are not going to go into anarchy. Councillor Rapadu, I've closed it. We are not having a discussion on it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm recognizing you. Can you close your mic, Councillor Nobushe?
Speaker, I'm not rising on what the Honorable Mayor said. I'm rising, wait, I'm quoting the rule. I'm quoting, if you can give me time, I will quote the rule.
Councillors.
Thank you.
Councillor Rapadu, I think I might just as well ask you to sit down.
No, I'm quoting the rule.
No, can I ask you to sit down?
No, it's fine.
Let's carry on with the business of the day, because otherwise we're going to have more anarchy, and I don't think we need that. We need to get done with the business of the day.
Constance, we are on item 2, which is application for leave of absence.
The following apologies were submitted. Councillor Nontenja, due to ill health. The DA caucus, due to party commitments, but except Councillor Santana, Avante Smith, and Councillor Safumba. And I see there's another DA councillor at the back.
It's Councillor Haggett.
Thank you, Councillor Haggett, who will be in attendance. Are there any other further apologies from the floor? Councillor Simonse.
Good afternoon, Madam Speaker. It's Simonsa. Apologies for MMC Kunene on party business. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other apologies? Councillor Ronald Harris.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Please accept apologies for Councillor Mkonza. He's on private business. And Councillor Chris Rolson will be late. Thank you.
Yes, Councillor, I can't see your name because your tag is looking that way. Councillor Mashala.
Thank you, Speaker. From Action SA, we've got Councillor Zahid Jonidin, sick leave. Councillor Tulin Gomez, sick leave. Councillor Sarah Visler, party business. And Speaker, Action SA is asking to leave at 4 p.m. if we're not done. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor De Lange. Councillor De Lange.
Sorry, Speaker, just off the point, just for process, can we please get speaker lists for the day, please?
Okay, we'll do that. Anybody else with an apology? No other apologies. Thank you, councillors. Can we approve the apologies as submitted? Thank you. I also just want to welcome back Councillor Ngwenya. Councillor Ngwenya, you are looking well. Welcome back. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Councillors, we are now on item 3, which is recommendations to council.
Executive Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. As per the protocol observed earlier, with one critical issue that I had omitted before tabling the item, and that is to extend an apology to the residents in the city of Johannesburg for the current condition, but they know who is responsible. Madam Speaker, I rise to table the executive reports and the recommendations thereto. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Executive Mayor. Freedom Front Plus, Councillor Boer.
Goedemiddag, mevrouw de Speaker. Good day, all councillors, all protocols reserved. While the government of local disunity was quibbling about the budget...
Can you just hold on? Can you hold on? Yeah, en jammer, enaki, yo. Councillor, we are going to table yeah. Apologies, really apologies.
On recommendations to council, the first item is retabling of the 2024-25 to the 2026-27 mid-term budget and related documentation in terms of section 25, subsection 1 of the MFMA, read together with item 1A, which is the 2024-25 to 2026-27 medium-term operating budget and related documentation. Also read together with item 1B, and that is the 2024-25 to 2026-27 medium-term capital budget. Also read with item 1C, and that's your report on outcomes of public consultations on the proposed 2024-25 budget and its revenue-raising measures and technical evaluation led by the National Treasury. And also read with item 1D, and that's the draft rates policy and rates bylaw. And lastly, read with item 1E, and that's the amendments to the 2024-25 Integrated Development Plan review and 2024-25 Service Delivery and Budget Implementation Plan.
Thank you, councillors. A real apology for that. Sorry. Freedom Front Plus, Councillor Boer.
Dank u, mevrouw de Speaker. I'll start again. Thanks for the opportunity. While the government of local disunity was quibbling to get a budget approved and allocate some money to swimming pools and Eldos and so forth, it gave me a chance to dig into the budget again. And one cannot come to another conclusion than that this budget is a political budget.
Councillor Boer, can you just hold on? Can the councillor that is up on her feet, thank you, it was very loud, we could hear everything. Thank you, Councillor Boer.
This budget that was presented to us is a political budget just in front of the elections, and we cannot, as the Freedom Front, approve this budget. And there's some serious questions that we want to ask the MMCs on this budget. And our biggest concern here, except for the water crisis and the electricity vandalism on the substations, our biggest concern is the 81% increase in the operating budget for group, corporate and shared services. This budget increased to 936 million. And if you look into the body of this report, the provision for PFA, and PFA stands for Political Facilitated Agreement. What it is, I've got no idea, has been increased to 701 million, as well as the filling of strategic positions, another 100 million. Those two items together account for 801 million rand. And put this into perspective, that our total capex budget for city power is only 1.2 billion. Our total budget for capex budget for Johannesburg Water is only 1.2 billion. And we want to spend 801 million on political facilitated agreement and filling strategic positions. I just cannot understand this. Our residents are weeks and weeks without water, without electricity. Instead of increasing those budget, we allocate these monies. And we really, I think the MMCs are owing the residents of our city an answer on where those money is going to be funded upon. Strategic positions, 100 million, even at a salary of 2 million rand per person, it means an appointment of another 50 people doing what, where. Politically facilitated agreements, this smells like a rat, Madam Speaker. I think what my conclusion on this is that the ANC-led government of local unity knows that after next week's election, a lot of their MPLs sitting here in the provincial legislature are going to be without jobs. And I think the ANC is trying to make provision to bring them over to the city. And the MMCs really need to assure our residents that those funds are not going to be wasted on nonsense expenditure, and that they rather be utilized to bring down our backlog on Johannesburg Water and on city power infrastructure, where we got backlogs of 20 billion and 30 billion respectively, and we're getting nowhere to come ahead on those budgets. So we really need both MMCs for group corporate and shared services and the MMC for finance to tell our residents where this money is going to be spent upon. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Boer. Can we have Councillor Harris from the ACDP?
Good afternoon once again, Madam Speaker. I rise to speak on items 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, and 1E. Charles Dickens wrote about a tale of two cities. I want to suggest that the city of Johannesburg encompasses a tale of four cities. One is the richest square mile in Africa that stubbornly refuses to expand its borders. Another is the suburban areas where blue-collar workers and the working poor reside. The third is the dormitory areas, remnants of apartheid spatial planning. The fourth is the historically disadvantaged areas, the dumping grounds for the descendants of the Khoisan people. Why Westbury, Claremont, Nuclear, and Coronationville are not designated as deprivation areas, that is deeply concerning. Admittedly, the budgetary process is a difficult juggling act. However, this budget lacks imagination, it lacks creativity, it lacks innovation. The devil is in the detail, but time does not permit a deep dive into the granular detail. I want to highlight a few issues, though. The equitable share received by the city is a clear indication that national government does not understand or care about migration patterns into the city. Evidently, no one has engaged national and provincial government about the strain placed on our infrastructure brought on by inward migration. The human settlements budget is wholly inadequate to deal with the massive housing backlog. Whilst the initiatives to give dignity to the residents of informal settlements is welcomed, the millions budgeted for the formalization process is a clear indication that the city has capitulated to land grabs and disorder. Contrast these allocations to the process and to the bottomless pit that is the Luffereng project, with the pitiful amounts budgeted for the repairs and maintenance of the high-density flats and old-age units owned by the city. One is forced to conclude that there is a silent project to collectively punish people living in the ghettos. Whilst it is laudable to see the rate increases amongst the lowest nationally, it still increases the burden on the working class and the working poor to fund the administration of the city. The funds made available for remedial work at Grootkoppie's landfill site is too little. It will not give comfort to the residents of Eldorado Park who are pleading for nothing less than the removal of that health hazard and the rehabilitation of that land. Very little provision is made to establish a waste-to-energy facility. In light of the fact that existing landfill space may be used up in the next 4 years, we cannot understand why waste-to-energy infrastructure is not being developed, despite the private sector standing in line to partner with the city to monetize the thousands of tons of municipal solid waste collected. The budget is supposed to reflect the wishes of the councillors, stakeholders, and residents who participated in the IDP process. The final product is indicative of a mere cut and paste exercise. The ACDP advocates for service, order, and safety. In light of the fact that Region B specifically once again has been shortchanged, the ACDP will not support these items. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Harris. Action SA, Councillor Gancho.
Speaker, colleagues and guests in the gallery, I greet you. Let me also greet the formidable 44 and our leader, Councillor Mthembu. Speaker, it's not often that one is asked for an encore of the speech, so I'm going to do you guys a favor and not repeat myself here. Speaker, I can only hope that the reason this meeting has been called is because the pieces of the GLU have decided to stick together to pass this budget. Speaker, marriage is the most sacred and holy union we must always celebrate when the parties within a marriage decide to put aside their principles and make it work. I understand that the gaping hole where the people of Eldorado Park should have been has been covered now. That's good news. It's not yet clear why the fighters didn't support the budget last time, but I hope the funds have cleared this time around, so we won't be called here again. It's easy to criticize, Speaker, but one can never really know until you are in the driving seat. Johannesburg is an extremely complex and colossal entity and many different moving parts. It takes considerable skill, temperament, and vigor to be able to keep your hand on all these different moving parts. Worse yet, in a coalition of different parties. We understand, Shem, it's not easy. 83 billion rand is not small change. This is a lot of money, however, it's not enough. I have no doubt that Glue tried, Shame. But what would a reasonable government do with 83 billion? This reminds me of a parable in the Bible, that of the master, the servant, and the talents. 3 servants are given resources by the master. 2 take these resources and multiply them. But the 3rd servant, the wicked servant, simply returns what was given to them as is. See, Speaker, a good servant of the people, a good steward of the people, takes what has been given to them and multiplies them to return to the master. The master in this case is the people. 83 billion rand is a lot of money, but it's not enough. We need to raise more funds. Financial stability of the city should be utmost concern of those in finance, not simply putting money to use. We should be taking what we can from the budget and using it to multiply the resources available in order to better serve the master, which is the residents of Johannesburg. And because I too am a humble servant of the people, here are just 3 suggestions to help the finance of the city. Number 1, tell the truth to the residents. There is no such thing as a free lunch. There is no such thing as free water or free electricity. Somebody has to pay for these services. Even in the instances where individuals or households are not paying, somebody is paying. It's either it's theft or it's tax money. This myth of free presence from the state, or worse yet, the ruling party, is a lie from hell that needs to come to an end. Everyone must pay for the services they use. If we invest money in fixing this, we may raise even more funds for the city while lowering the average cost it costs us to pay. Yes, we know poverty is a serious problem in our communities and people can't afford. That's a problem caused by impotent economic policies and incompetent implementers. No amount of freebies will solve this problem. The people must be allowed to be productive so that they can pay their own rates and services. Number two, we need to open our arms to business. Speaker, Johannesburg is being less and less the city of gold. The captains of industry are leaving Johannesburg, or worse, leaving the country due to anti-business policies, poor service delivery, and a generally decaying city. We need to change this and bring back the gold standard that made Johannesburg the city of gold. We need to cut the red tape of doing business and roll out the red carpet to all businesses wanting to do business legally in Johannesburg. Number three, legally. Speaker, law enforcement is another thing costing the city money. If it's not vandalized or stolen infrastructure, it's land invasions. If it's not hijacked buildings, it's structures being built without regards to bylaws. If it's not building electricity, it's zamazamas digging through the underground of the city and their gang turf wars. We need to put out serious money to our Metro Police and increase their quantity and quality to make a difference. These three things, Speaker, done diligently, will create the surplus required to start dealing with the enormous backlog of infrastructure maintenance that is sorely needed. It's not a quick fix, but with time, we will get it right. Through you, Speaker, I'd like to humbly ask the MMC of Finance to begin this process as a resident and patriot. And when we relieve you as government, we will be able to take over and finish off. As I close, Speaker, we need to talk about the workers of the city of Johannesburg, who are currently protesting as we speak of their treatment and the working conditions. After fixing the finances of the city, the employees of the city must take priority. Without the employees of the city, no waste will be collected, no roads will be repaired. Nothing can get done without them. How our people in Pick It Up have been treated is simply indefensible. Why must it always come to this? Why must the city burn, stink, or come to a standstill before their concerns are taken seriously? This all stems from the government's insistence of treating the labor force like indentured servants. Action SA has remained firm on the principle of getting rid of labor brokers and letting insourcing take over. This needn't cost the city a cent. All you need to do is get rid of the top heavy people in management and let the people earn a living wage. People make small fortunes off the city doing nothing. Meanwhile, we pay essential workers next to nothing. All this from the parties who are supposed to be in alliance with the unions in the country. Unions who are only out to protect the interests of those who are already employed to the exclusion of those yet to be employed. Shocking. It's only 7 days now, and we will finally get to the ballot. I can't wait for the people of South Africa to finally pass judgment on glue. Aikale.
Councillor Santana.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to speak in item 1, 1A, 1B, 1C,
Councillors,
1D,
please.
and 1E. Madam Speaker, I've been standing in council for the past 12 years, and never in my life has this administration... Guys, can I speak?
Councillors.
Never in this council have I come when we started the IDP process, and bearing in mind when we brought the item to council in March, I stood up and I said, the amount of IDP processes that are going out to the public is insufficient. I stated it in this council, 7 IDP sessions. I even then convened with our acting chair of council to say, can we not please add more? I even pleaded with you, can we please have where you've given the councillors to take on that we can make sure that we engage with our residents to understand and to promote the IDP process at large. All those attempts were refused, including yourself. So what I don't understand as a councillor standing in this council, and I understand exactly how our residents feel. We can email, we can communicate, we can do all the process that needs to be done, and what do we get back in return? Not even an acknowledgement. I understand why our residents are frustrated with the city when it comes to paying their bills, when it comes to sorting out revenue issues and revenue and the account statements. Because all we ever do is we try and push items forward, we send emails, we try and correspond, and there's not even an acknowledgement from none of the officials, not even your office, not even yourself, including the MMC. But we must stand here and we must pass a budget where the processes were completely flawed. And let me explain why I'm saying that. We didn't even do the IDP drafts policy and review, the rates bylaw review with our residents at all. Now there's a fundamental issue that we've done here. The whole policy was rewritten. The whole policy was rewritten. We have fundamentally denied our residents an opportunity to engage in the processes of the rates policy in itself, okay? And that is sacrilege in terms that we have changed certain items there. We have not engaged with our residents. There were certain issues where residents were asking questions about the IDP, the rates policy at large, and there's just nobody to communicate. Nobody was prepared to, I even tried to engage. Can we have communication with this? Can we try and understand what the differences are? I had to wait for the MMC to approve such communication. I got it all after the fact. There was even notices sent to you by civic organizations and myself stating, can we please have an extension with regards to the submission of issues to the council? I was yet again ignored, so were all the organizations that requested such were ignored. And yet you're asking us to stand here and approve a budget. Let's go one step further. Your items annexure A, your annexure on item C, 1C, annexure C's and D, coming to this council for approval, yet are blank, but you want us to approve something. So you want us to commit fraud to approve a budget that doesn't even talk to what our residents' comments were. And we're standing here as public reps, but we must commit fraud in this house, in the city of Johannesburg, because we don't want to follow processes. How can you ask us to pass a budget when we don't even have the relevant information to engage on such? And what upsets me the most is the fact that we completely get ignored. I've been ignored month after month after month, and I was proactive in asking. The Democratic Alliance was proactive in asking, please can we engage? I even asked, can we engage on all the business plans? Let's understand what our entities are trying to do. Let's see the turnaround strategies. Keep on getting ignored. So what must we do when we come to council and we get ignored? I must stand here, willingly adopt a budget when nobody's been engaged. You tell me that it's a budget of the people, yet your inclusivity was only 0.075% of the Johannesburg population, if we're assuming the population is 6 million. Please tell me how that is inclusive. Please tell me how we are engaging with our residents. More so, the forgotten ratepayers. Mind you, let me just tell you, all these increases don't affect those that don't pay their bill. It affects those that do. And when we look at our residents out there, people are battling to survive. They're battling to put food on the table. And yet we can pass increases, open up another entity called Joburg Tourism, all at the expense of the residents of Johannesburg, and none of these entities are generating income. So let's change our strategy. Maybe we should start we're only going to say no to entities that are actually generating revenue for the city. Let's do that as a start. I asked the MMC when we did engage, I had a few issues. One of them being the sanitation charge, or the increase in the sanitation at 7.7%. What is the justification of the 7% increase when it's based on property size and multi-dwelling tariff? There is no justification. I'm almost certain if we take this issue to the courts to find out the methodology and how you come to your 7.7, it's going to fall flat. Why is it not charged in the same tariff charge as the property rates if that is your baseline and what you determine your surge at? There's no explanation. I asked, can I please have the reports on the capital, the per capita expenditure on the capital budget for each and every single ward? I still don't have it. But we must stand here and we must support a budget which is not inclusive, which have left out a whole lot of people, You yourself changed the time of the IDP sessions, especially Region E, from 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock to 3 o'clock. I want to know, how did we communicate that to our residents? How did we communicate the changes of times to our residents that were supposed to engage on this process? We did not, because I asked some of our residents whether we got SMSs or not. So I want to be proactive in what I'm going to say to you here. We have a fundamental flaw in the process termed the IDP process. And I think it needs to start with education. And Madam Speaker, that falls on your office. Educating our residents about the IDP process and how it's supposed to come about. And we shouldn't start it in the month that we're doing budget. We should start it at least 6 months prior. Getting people to educate them. What does it mean? What does their involvement mean? How does the budget process unfold? And I would also like to see, as councillors, that all of us engage in the process 6 months prior to the budget coming in, so we all have an understanding. And if you want to be inclusive, every single ward should be included in the budget. Every 135 wards should have a project, not the 115, according to your budget. Where's the other 20? Do they not pay for services? Are they not worthy of receiving any infrastructure or any budget? Surely not. And how inclusive is that? It's not. So, yes, Madam Speaker, the budget for us is a farce. It's a farce because we did not engage as we should have engaged with everybody and all those concerned. And I'm tired of standing here asking and asking and asking. Where's the spirit? Where's our spirit of Ubuntu? Where's the spirit of trying to make a budget? And I've always said, I'm not going to politicize the budget. I said we'll help if we are included. We were excluded. So, Madam Speaker, with that, the Democratic Alliance will not support this budget, purely on the basis that we feel that the IDP process was a complete farce. We did not cover the IDP, specifically the rates policy, where, like I said to you, it was fundamentally changed. I know there was a court ruling saying that it needed to be part of the IDP process and not a separate process, but where it has fundamentally changed in its context and stuff, it needed to have a separate process. And we did not do that. So I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Santana. Chair Caldine from the PA. Can we not do what we are doing now?
After school is after school.
Nobody stood up. Councillor Caldine, just hold on. Nobody stood up and screamed when Councillor Gancho was on the podium. Can we please not do that? Thank you, Chair Caldine.
Greetings, Madam Speaker, Executive Mayor, PA Joburg 9, under the capable leadership of MMC Kenny Kunene, our incoming Premier of Gauteng, in his absentia. Madam Speaker, we note all comments from all councillors regarding El Dorado Park once again. Thank you. I've arrived. I want to thank the Patriotic Alliance President Gayton McKenzie for making it possible for colored people to be seated at the table of decision making and for allowing us to represent our people accordingly. Thank you to El Dorado Park Ward 17 and 18 for believing in us as ward councillors. As the GLU, we were mandated by those who elected us to represent them well. It was on the backdrop that we remained resolute to ensure that their voices were heard and heard loud and clear. As a disciplined coalition partner, it is our duty to hold one another accountable. As the Patriotic Alliance, we will continue to do so with military precision. Madam Speaker, we welcome the revised budget and the fact that our constituency are now included. This is indeed a step in the right direction, and we strive to succeed with excellence and make our coalition work for the benefit of our people. We will ensure that everyone is included in this budget. We also note collectively and responsibility to encourage all residents in the city of Johannesburg to continue paying for services so our city can collect revenue. As the Patriotic Alliance, we support this budget. Salute El Dorado Park, Kliptown, Rivoli, Ennerdale, Marytang, Finetown, Westbury, Davidsonville. We have arrived. We said it before, I'm saying it again. Ons baie is aan die 29 Mei Kenzie, die dan kom ruk die hond is los.
Thank you, Councillor Caldin. Councillor Tim Shongo from the AIC.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Good afternoon to you, Madam Speaker. Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, Councillor Kabelo Kwamanda, members of the Mayoral Committee, Chief Whip of Council, Councillor Manzini, Nyamagaishi Zungu, Section 79 chairpersons, fellow councillors, city manager and your entire officials of the city, AIC Gauteng Provincial Secretary, Comrade Yongama Mapengu in the gallery, residents of the city of Johannesburg, members of the media. Madam Speaker, I'm not going to be too long, Madam Speaker. I just raised, Madam Speaker, to speak on item 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D as tabled by the Secretary to Council, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as the African Independent Congress, we know that this is an election season, Madam Speaker. However, Madam Speaker, as the party, we cannot, Madam Speaker, at any given time as the party, allow the parties to play with the plight of our people outside there. The parties that always take advantage of the people that are in a dire state, they bring them here to score the political gain, Madam Speaker. I don't know, because the ground is waiting for them outside there to go and campaign, not to campaign in council. This is an august house, Madam Speaker, that needs to be respected at all given times, Madam Speaker. Having said that, Madam Speaker, Inga Lento, it means it's all about you. So vote AIC. Madam Speaker, in closing, Madam Speaker, the African Independent Congress notes and accepted the revised budget and thank the GLU for listening to the political parties that are the part of GLU and those that are in opposition. So Action SA, this is your budget. Please vote for it. As I thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Mshongo. Chair Raserute from the EFF. Yes, MMC. MMC Annie Makafula.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and good afternoon to yourself. Madam Speaker, as the EFF, we are kindly asking for a 10-minute caucus break.
Okay, we are giving you the caucus break. 25 till you come back. Councillor Santana.
Sorry, Speaker, but how can you have a 10-minute caucus break when we speak an item? They can do it after it, before we vote.
They are
Just
coming
asking
back.
for a friend.
Before I do what I do, Councillor Santana,
Relax,
I first
Santana,
ask for
relax.
advice. That's what I do. Thank you. Thank you, councillors. Can we be seated? The EFF is back. They are the party that asked for a caucus. So can we be seated? Can we settle down? Chief Whip, can you check where others are? Councillors, can we be seated? Councillor Makafula.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As the EFF caucus, we are fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you. And you were very much on time. Councillor Raserute is the next speaker. Chair Raserute, EFF.
Thank you very much, Speaker. And greetings to our visitors, the gallery, councillors of the city of Johannesburg. I greet you all. Speaker, as the economic freedom fighters, we pride ourselves on reporting to citizens of Johannesburg that our involvement in governance has drastically changed how things are done. Since the EFF became part of this council in 2016, the city has begun to develop plans and budgets that explicitly pro-poor. As the saying goes, you cannot belittle your efforts on account of not having arrived. Although we are still far from full economic emancipation, strides are being made to ultimately reach that desired state. Until the mighty EFF was involved, it seemed impossible to have tariff hikes below the Consumer Price Index, CPI, despite the burden on residents due to unemployment, slow economic growth, and the high cost of living. Although Johannesburg residents still pay more in rents for majority of tariffs compared to other metropolitan municipalities, this budget presents the lowest increase in these tariffs compared to other metropolitan municipalities in South Africa. This is a move towards a right direction, thanks to the mighty EFF. Speaker, the fact that the revenue generated by the continent's economic hub only covers 16.5% of its budget, and that borrowing has skyrocketed to 33.7% shows that there is significant work being done to improve revenue collection. Measures that do not overburden residents, such as the recent opening of the vehicle licensing station in highly dense community of Diepsloot, will boost the revenue collection in the city. Other creative and sensitive means are needed to improve revenue collection. Councillors, although it is difficult to explicitly accept due to political affiliation reasons, we can all agree that participation of the EFF in this council has led to massive planning and budget reform. Today, this inclusive budget talks about informal settlements residents as part of the priorities. Not people who's only involved in the budget is through the red ants who are supposed to evict them in the most inhuman form. We stand here proud to inform the residents of Johannesburg who reside in informal settlements that there is over 200 million reserved for electrifying their homes. Without the EFF in the council, the fight against the fires in informal settlements and respiratory conditions resulting from energy resources such as paraffin will be losing battle, as no resources were previously allocated to address electricity issues in our informal settlement. Now informal settlements are being formalized and people are being given serviced stands to build their homes. Some clinics are operating 24 hours, 7 days a week. Streets are being renamed to the heroes and heroines who fought for the dejected masses in our community, etc., etc. All thanks to the EFF. Since the EFF involvement in this council, even our residents in places such as Orlando start to feel as part of the budget. They requested that resources be put aside to complete projects such as the 2.875 square meter Yata Nathan Yearly Childhood Development Center in Orlando West, Soweto. And the EFF went out of its way to ensure that this achievement, despite resource constraints, the quality of life in many households in the city
Chair,
has improved.
Chair, can you just hold on? Can we please not have what we are having at the back here? We can hardly hear the chairperson. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Speaker. The quality of life in many households in the city has improved, as many security guards have secured decent, well-paying jobs with reasonable benefits in the city. It is very important to address a claim made by leaders of some political parties who have said that they were responsible for insourcing of security guards and cleaners at the city of Johannesburg, despite their policy, beside their party policy being against it.
Correct.
I challenge the followers of such leaders to demonstrate the sections which talks to the issue of insourcing of security guards, cleaners,
50
etc. in
seconds.
their policy documents. We are not going to wish hand here. The EFF local government manifesto clearly advocates for insourcing of security guards, cleaners, and other workers. This shows our commitment to improving the lives of workers by ensuring they receive fair treatment and decent wages.
30 seconds.
Evan, Bapela, so speaker. The brief achievement highlighted above shows that since the involvement of the EFF, planning and budgeting process in the city of Johannesburg have shifted from being highly technical exercise that only speaks to privileged few being directed response to the issue on the ground. As the EFF, we approve the budget as it is positive step towards the direction of economically.
I told you.
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Marema from the ANC. Thank you, councillors.
Thank you very much, Speaker.
Councillors, thank you.
I can breathe again. No, thank you very much, Speaker. I rise to support and to ask that the residents of the city of Johannesburg who are dearly waiting for us to deliver services gets the service they deserve. And we'll do that by approving and acknowledging the budget. But I think it would not be fair to state few things. I know you've given me 13 minutes, but I wanted to highlight few things of interest in my heart that we come to council sent by our residents. And some councillors have indicated that they have been here for a very long time, many, many years. And they indicate that they have been trying to reach out and they have not been getting attention. And to that effect, Babatla really Joburg, Basafare because bona batoli attention. True. They acknowledge all the shortfalls and the shortcomings by the city. They acknowledge them. And they have an opportunity today to pass the budget, which is supposed to go and close those gaps that they have recognized. But yet, they indicate left and turn right. As the African National Congress, we approve the budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Marema. Councillor Makuba from the IFP.
Ngibonge somlomo. Ngibingelele Mayor wethu. Ngibingelele abaphathiswa bonke abasekomitini likaMeya. The IFP notes with concern but accepts that the hostel development budget has been reduced by 20 million. The IFP understands that the 83.1 billion budget cake must be cut into slices that will benefit and improve the lives of the residents of the city of Johannesburg. Siyakwamukela lokho MMC Finance. Kuyamangaza mphathiswa wezimali eCity of Johannesburg ukuthi kube khona abantu ababona ukuthi indlela abantu abahlala ngayo emahostela ibafanele futhi kufanele ihlale injalo. Umuzwe umphathiswa ethi amahostela walungiseki engakaze nakomadala ejudeni wazama ukwalungisa. Siyayemukela yona le esesinikwa yona manje namhlanje. Kodwa mhlonishwa sodolopha sizoyibuka ukuthi yasetshenziswa na. Sizoqikelela futhi ukuthi yasetshenziswa. Kancane kancane kuyavela. Kodwa siphela amandla. Safundiswa umsunguli weqembu lenkatha umengameli wethu ngokuhlonishwa umntwana wakaphinda ngene. Inkosi yakwaButhelezi. May his soul rest in peace. Ukuthi uma kukhulunywa ngezinto zebudget sibeke esingakuzwa sikhale lapha esikhala khona kodwa siyinkatha ekugcineni siyamukela ibudget. Siyathokoza.
Thank you, Councillor Makuba. MMC Morero. Councillors.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Executive Mayor of Council, greetings to you. Greetings to the Chief Whip of Council, Yamagaishi Zungu. Greetings to Banaba Oliver Tambo, who are here. The Tlokholoza Charlotte Matlek. Greetings to the leaders of political parties. Councillor Santana on behalf of the Democratic Alliance. Greetings to the leader of the Action SA, Councillor Mthembu Mvelase. Greetings to Councillor Spetlele Hospital, Raseruke. Dumedisen Tate Mhlongo of the African Independent Congress. Dumedise Councillor Tebu Hongkonkue from Africa, who I had thought today will also have been on the speaker's notes. I'm quite disappointed, Madam Speaker. Greetings to African Hearts Congress, Councillor Mpolo Bosho. And greetings to Councillor Lubaba Loma Gwenchu and all members of the Mayoral Committee. Let me take this opportunity first and foremost to remind Joburgers that on the 25th of May, all roads lead to the First National Bank Soccer Stadium, wherein we will be consolidating our victory on the 29th of May. It is important, therefore, Madam Speaker, to note that the business plans and the IDP consultations throughout the process had raised critical service delivery challenges and has also raised wishes and aspirations of our residents of Johannesburg, and in particular, the Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg highlighted the issue in relation to deprivation areas as key to us as the success of Johannesburg, and he especially pointed out to Region G and pointed out to Region B. He pointed out to Region D and Region E. In particular, the Executive Mayor's consultation with those communities suggested that it is important and critical that we pronounce on some of the issues that we would do in relation to those areas. Madam Speaker, it is unfortunate that as we delivered the speech itself, when I am unable to pronounce explicitly as to what is it that we'll be doing in these particular deprivation areas, as the mayor would have requested that after his consultation with communities, we have to take those areas into cognizance. And therefore, Madam Speaker, we have looked into these issues and would want to explicitly pronounce on our intentions to address informal settlements throughout these regions, and focusing on the informal settlements in Kliptown. Would also be focusing on old age homes and flats to ensure that these areas are addressed as they form part of the deprivation areas. And included amongst it is also what we are raising specifically in relation to electrification program, which we will be doing in those informal settlements. Madam Speaker, we have also noted the importance of us responding to road surfacing, or rather roads resurfacing and potholes. And as such, we have specifically responded to a particular road that the Executive Mayor has been engaging with communities of El Rado Park, and we have therefore resolved to address Boundary Road immediately with the start of the new financial year. And as such, we have also loaded London Road that has become dilapidated and requires resurfacing. We have therefore allocated and ensured that the allocation at JRA will be able to respond specifically to these areas that we have escalated as priority areas. We are also responding, Madam Speaker, to registration of stands that needs to be concluded in Ward 77 to ensure that we restore the dignity of our people in those areas. And in fact, the restoration of those stands and declaring those stands will also assist us in revenue collection. We have also, as part of our allocation to social development, Madam Speaker, re-looked at the issue around the Josie Bread project, which we are now resuscitating the Josie Bread with an intention of ensuring that we can create entrepreneurs in the bread industry and thus disrupting the monopoly of bread. So we are allocating into social development to begin the process to rebuild and resuscitate the Josie Bread. Those who were here a few years ago, before someone came in and decided to take away development of entrepreneurs in Johannesburg and stopped the Josie Bread. Of course, keeping with our commitment, Madam Speaker, we are looking also in allocations around social development to ensure that the needy and the poor are catered for. And in so doing, we are also responding to the centers that needs to be completed in Region D and Region B and Region G. Madam Speaker, we are also looking into some of the shortages and challenges in public safety that we think are critical to ensure that we can advance on our work towards ensuring bylaw enforcement in the city of Johannesburg. So doing so, we have allocated sufficiently to help us to respond to those challenges that would have raised at public safety. Let me take this opportunity once more, Madam Speaker, through you. It is important that Councillor Harris should also note that we have taken steps to address the dilapidation of flats in the area of Nuclear and Bosmont, and as such, we believe the current allocation in human settlements will assist us and go a long way in us beginning a program to address those challenges in those areas. So it is important to note that something has been done, especially noting the fact that we are receiving an informal settlement upgrade grant and the USDG, which we think will be able to assist us in dealing with some of these challenges that we are faced with. We are committed as a city to building a solid response to challenges around human settlement, especially understanding that we are located in a metropolitan city of Johannesburg.
1 minute left, MMC.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wanted to conclude on the matter of the politically facilitated agreement. We have allocated 701 for the politically facilitated, because this government does care to address issues that affect workers and not just give lip service to workers or mislead those that have not as yet been employed as the city of Johannesburg and give them false hope and try to undermine the authority of the administration in addressing issues that relate to employment. With that said, Madam Speaker, I here table this report and call on Council to approve the budget 2024-2025. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, MMC. I now ask, thank you, councillors. I now ask that we close all the doors. If you're out, you're out. If you're in, you're in. We close all the doors. Can we do that? We are going to ring the bell.
Just go out. What's happening, Kanti?
Can we ring the bell?
Speaker, Speaker, Speaker,
no.
Speaker, there's a hand.
Oh.
Councillor Lebatlang.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I won't waste your time. We have requested to leave at 4 and would like to be excused and leave this particular meeting.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before you leave, can we just read? Before you leave, 5 minutes? Okay, you can leave. Can you carry on reading?
So you don't want to approve the budget?
Thank you, councillors. The recommendations are on.
Address your fellow rented
Councillors,
crowds outside.
the recommendations are on pages 1A, 33. We are waiting to have come, yeah, we are.
Go, man.
Councillor Lebatlang. Thank you, councillors. I think the action essay is all out. They've asked for 4, so they're gone. Councillor Lebatlang. Hi, Councillor Lebatlang.
It's been 5 minutes now.
We,
There's Adam 2 and 4 there sitting.
Madam Speaker, can we move?
okay, we are councillors, please. Go out nice and quiet, please. Please. Friends, what's happening at the bottom? It's hot. Recommendations are on pages 1A 33 to 1A 34 on item 1 and 1A. Recommendations as per item 1B is on 1B 21. Then item 1C, the recommendations are on pages 1C 13 to 1C 14. Item 1D, the recommendations are on pages 1D9. Are the items agreed to? Then there's items 1E, and the recommendations are on pages 1E2. Is this item agreed to? I see the hand of, oh, okay, sorry. Okay, we are going to ask the yeses to raise their hands. Can we see the noes? You can lower your hands. Those that abstain, there's 2 councillors at the back that did not vote yes, neither no. Are you abstaining? Thank you. There's no one that abstains. The yeses are 145. The noes are 8. Are 10. Abstain 0. Councillors, the budget has been passed. Councillor Santana, is it abstain?
No. Then can you please note the Democratic Alliance abstention on this item? Thank you very much.
Councillor De Lange, we are done.
Time. Thank you. Just in the minutes, out of the 10 votes, note are 4 abstentions for voting no. Thank you.
Councillor MMC Masuku.
Councillor Tilange says note our 4 abstentions for voting no. So what must the minutes reflect, Speaker?
I'm myself confused.
Sorry.
Councillor De Lange, I didn't give you a chance yet. I'm also confused because when we counted and we asked for no's, there was 10. And every time it happens when there's been a vote of no, then people come afterwards and say they abstained. Or so. It can't be. Thank you, MMC. Councillor De Lange and Councillor Santana, we are done. I've heard you, Councillor. We are done. We are done. I'm closing. We are closed. Thank you, councillors. And I wish you all well for the elections. Thank you. Bye.